We live, baby.
Good morning, everyone.
All right. All right. So I guess I gotta do my intro, huh?
Waiting on you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, last night, tonight, tomorrow, night, evening. What's going on?
Nothing much. We are here.
Welcome tuning in to another episode of Just Cuz Podcast, where we talk about life in general. We talk about family dynamics, we talk about family trauma, we talk about career growth, we talk about how we navigate life.
You are such an entertainer.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just being me.
Yeah.
That's all I can be.
Yeah. So we got up with each other over the weekend.
We did. Little 15, 20-minute get together because Miss Busybody over here, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to get with your publicist next time. So I can etch out some more time on your calendar.
I'm always on the move. I don't care what city I'm in. Yeah. I always got an itinerary that I have to follow.
Golly. I have to etch out an entire day, and then I might get like 45 minutes.
Yeah. But it was cool to be out there. I think anytime that you go to a historical place, it always has a different energy.
It does. And like I was telling you, like I wasn't into history until I really didn't get into it until I went to Europe. And that's when I really got interested in like history and historical landmarks and places and things of that nature. Because Europe's history precedes America's history. So yeah, so once I came back from Europe, like that's when like I really got interested in history here.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of places.
Yeah.
You can visit and learn some history and get some different perspectives, and I think it helped shape your outlook on life.
Yeah, it does. I think we need to know everything about our history, at least what we have access to. We can always go to ancestry.com, but we definitely need to go to these museums. It's a lot on the East Coast that we definitely don't tap into normally. We haven't tapped into. So for me as a mom, it's my duty to make sure that my kids know their true history, and I have to remind them all the time of, hey, this happened or this happened. So I knew it was important based on our incident back in October that I properly prepare my son for his future. And when I initially planned the trip over to DC, I was thinking, listen, I need, because of what happened to you, and I will discuss it, but I need you to understand, people will form opinions about the color of your skin or whatever it can be. Just you as a Black male, period, they may feel that you are a threat. So this is what our history is behind this, and I need you to understand that now, so that you can prepare for this. And even us as Black women, we have targets on our back too, and for whatever reason. So I need to make sure that I prepare Jay and Jazz for that as well, because it's a lot, and it can be a little tricky at times when you go through life, navigate through life. So I want them to understand that, you know, we're all here for a reason, and treat people fair. I don't care what color skin they are, you know, where they come from, whatever. Always treat people fair. But I need you to know your history. I need to know, I need them to know uh, the importance of that. So,
Absolutely. And you can't just rely on one source of, you know, text when you're, you know, when you're looking at history, when you're reading about history. Yeah, you know, you really gotta broaden your view, because not all history is uh told. You know what I mean? So it's like you know, some of this history you really have to dig and find out about, and so that way you get an accurate picture. You know what I mean? Other than just, you know, what's taught in school, or can't just go off of what someone else says. You know, it may be credible, but you know, just do your own fact finding and
yes.
make sure that what you're reading is accurate, or you know, if there's more to it, you know, just trying to find out what else can I find out about, you know, this particular part of history or its timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Because our history goes beyond, you know, what we're taught in
It
school.
is.
You know what I mean? And anyway, I've been reading this book, Weapons of Mass Instruction. I'm in chapter 2, and this is like the first chapter it really has my mind intrigued about
Really?
about the school system, and how really how the school system was set up, and you know, its purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's interesting read. I'm gonna finish it, but before I get too deep in like what it talks about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, you know, we were just talking about the museum. So I did take my kids to the National Museum over there in DC for African American culture. And this is our second time that we visited. The first time we didn't get to everything. Of course, it just opened like 2 or 3 days before we went. And it was, you know, long lines and all of that good stuff. So it was definitely a lot of people, and we could not get to everything that day.
That was the first time y'all went, right?
That was the first time when it opened a couple years ago.
Right.
So this time I wanted to make sure that we got through everything, but I didn't know the exhibits that they recently opened up there. So they have an exhibit which is called, I think, something with Reconstruction. Don't quote me on that, but that's where we started in that exhibit. It's talking about how we came here to America and how America was reconstructed through different things that we contribute to Black people, African American, sorry. And it takes us through time periods of, you know, different things. So in that exhibit, Trayvon Martin's exhibit is in that one. And I didn't know about that before we went. So when we got through the exhibit, about almost full through the exhibit, they asked us to put our cell phones away. So, you know, I wasn't thinking, I'm just like, well, it must be something here that they don't want us to take a picture of. So, you know, when we got to his portion of the tour, I said, you know, it must be a reason why, you know, they're saying this. So I asked the security guard, I said, listen, why can't we take our cell phones out? And she said, oh, that's his actual clothes. And
Mm.
it took me back. So I had to go back to the area to look at it again. Because I'm like, it says Exhibit A, Exhibit B, and it has the bullet holes in there. His shoes, his hoodie, and his pants. So she said, well, the family has requested that people not take pictures of it. And I get it, because if that's always on social media, people are going to tag them in it, and it's always a reminder of what happened. Even though they deal with their grieving every single day, I know for sure they do, but it just did not sit well with me, looking at that, because if you have a son or any children for that matter, like, I never want to experience that. Like, and I'm sure people that have experienced something similar to that, it's traumatizing. So, it took me back to when it happened. And, with Nuki's situation in October with the bus incident, someone came and stole his phone while he was sitting on the bus, and he asked the person to give it back to him, and they did not. So when he got up and tried to get it from them, they started calling him the N words, the P words. And, at 10, that's something that I don't subject him to, meaning that we don't use those words in this house. So, and this is coming from a Caucasian. So I'm saying to myself, like, first thing is, okay, well, you're stealing, number one. You're getting up from your seat. And back in the day, we didn't have that on buses. Like, you got up from your seat, the bus driver was stopping that bus, and you're going to get off. Like, you're going to get in trouble. But now they don't do that. So, and then you're stealing stuff. Like, that's number two. Number three is you're saying racial things to someone totally out of place. Like, I need you to get yourself together, because the neighborhood that you live in, and for sure you can attribute to this. When we came up back in the day, that was an all Black neighborhood. It was no white people in that neighborhood in Star Hill. I mean, people did not even drive through Star Hill because they were so scared at times. So, now it's a little gentrified, and I can't pinpoint where these kids are getting this stuff from, but parents and family that are teaching this type of culture, and they're seeing it on the news, and I'm sure they're getting it from everywhere. But at 10, I'm saying, what are we doing to our kids? How are we teaching our kids to be fair to each other and to treat each other right? But now I have to reprogram my son to deal with this, which I wasn't ready for. So, like, how do we properly say, hey, you're going to have people that call you the N-word? And like, how many times are you going to have to listen to that, someone yelling at you on a bus, and you not respond to it? Like, you sit there and you have to, like, ignore it. And of course, the schools are not prepared for this type of culture. So, like, it's up to us as parents to teach our kids, like, control your emotions, and talk to me when you need to talk to me. Tell me how you're feeling. That's where I'm at this point with my son. Talking to him all the time about different things, and getting him to understand whatever they say, whoever says it, you're gonna have to ignore some things. Now, they wanted to suspend Nuki because Nuki smacked him upside the head when he went by him. He got his phone back, but now you're responding too late. So the teachers are like, or the administration is like, well, he did this or whatever. And I'm like, no, that little boy shouldn't have been up there in the first place, stealing the daggone phone. And on top of making racial statements like that. Like, so me being me, and of course, some may say that I am wrong, but now I have to go find this little kid and his mother, because we got to talk. Like, we had to talk about this, like, because it's not his phone, it's my phone. I pay for that. Now you stealing from me, and that's not gonna work. So we went and I talked to the mom, and she's like, oh, he would never do anything like that. He would never say those statements. And I'm saying, well, yeah, he did. And obviously he did, because the school has already told me that. So I need you to get your kid in order or kids in order, because I'm telling you, the people that are in this neighborhood, if he says anything out of place to someone else, they may not be as nice. So I'm trying to help you out because I know my neighborhood, and I know some people have not made it. So I need you to get your child in order, because it's going to get real around here for some people. And I think, we need to prepare for this, prepare our kids. We're in a different space now. Yeah.
It's quite a bit to unpack there.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I wasn't prepared.
Getting going, but it's definitely a lot that goes on. And of course you can't put this on social media, because then it creates racial tension. I mean, I know some people that I have on my social media, I keep them on there to study them solely. I know your movements, because the stuff that you're putting out there, oh, well, you feel that way about us? Okay. And then when I see you, oh, India, hi, how you doing? But you really don't like us. So, like, I don't get it. Like, so let me get back to the museum for 1 second. So with that being said, you guys need to go to the museum and take your kids. Now, what I took from the exhibits, and they have a Breonna Taylor exhibit with her painting in it, and it's so nice. A picture of her. But go over there and take all of the information in and study the information. I told everybody in my family that I saw more white people than Black people in there. When we first got into the first exhibit with Trayvon Martin, I saw a family, and the father, as soon as they walked in, he started like talking real loud, and he said, "You need to know this history. This is real. This is what our country did." And I turned around, I'm like, okay, what is going on here? Like, and some people are actually teaching their kids. And it surprised me, because of course I don't hear that a lot here. So it kind of threw me off that, okay, he's here with his white children and he's telling them history, like the real deal. Like, you can't get around it. No, we cannot rely on the schools to do anything here, especially in Delaware. They're not going to change anything anytime soon. Go ahead. I'll let you take over.
I don't know if it's not well, first, it's not just Delaware. Like it's a lot. It's a lot when you're talking about people's emotions and what they feel is right, what they feel is wrong, because everybody's moral compass is not the same. You know what I mean? So it's different. And so the point of the gentleman that was at the exhibit and talked to his kids, like, it happens more than because that's not what's shown nationally or publicly.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because that's not what gets the ratings, or that doesn't fit the narrative of the viewers of certain platforms.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like you can't look at we'll talk, so it's like news networks, national news networks. They have entertainment shows that are on their platforms. Your local news is about as close as you're going to get to actual news reporting.
Yes.
Your national news are really just shows, and it's like they hit you with the headline, and then it's all opinionated after that. And they usually are focused towards whatever their demographic or audience that is watching it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of that stuff that you watch on your national news is not going to, give you what's the word I'm looking for?
A detailed
No,
opinion?
it's
No?
they're not. It's like unopinionated, news.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, but yeah, that stuff happens more than you would think, and there's a lot of people who are really for change and that are really for advancement of the country and how the country interacts with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But that stuff doesn't, like I said, that stuff doesn't get broadcasted. Just like, when they say, well, what about black on black crime? Well, first of all, there's no such thing as black on black crime. It's just crime.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens that, we we gravitate towards similarity. So, if majority of your neighborhood if is African American, then that's what we're around. If the majority of the neighborhood is Caucasian,
Mm-hmm.
then that's the type of interaction you're gonna get. But there are programs, there are organizations that are working to end that type of crime in their neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
That's not talked about.
No, it's not.
So right. So it's just like, well, yeah. But anyway, so when you talk about like there is more Caucasian people than you would think there are really for the advancement of society and looking to heal the interaction between the race, even
Mm-hmm.
though anyways, that's before I get off on the tangent about race, but which isn't a real thing anyway. But yeah, so but to see that stuff and it kind of gives you a different perspective on what's happening, and you it's not everybody's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you can't put people in a box.
Yeah.
Just like that little boy on the bus. That was not to say that was the only incident, but that was that one incident.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But there's not to say that another Caucasian kid that was on that bus, I heard it was like, nah, you was wrong. Or,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, yo,
Yeah.
why
And
you,
that did happen.
you know what I mean? So,
It did. Because uh when we did the, investigation or whatever, and we're asking questions, of course, he's just saying that to everyone on the bus, white or black. So he's not even knowing the difference of, or the history. He's just repeating probably what he has heard other people say. So, and he thinks that it's okay. But it goes back to us parents really teaching our kids uh, equality and all of that good stuff. Like my kids know now, we have white people in our family. My grandmother was half white, so like it is what it is. You can look like at the color of my skin, like you can see that it runs deep. So like I think that seeing that on Sunday, it really didn't sit well with me at all. And it's been years since that happened, but seeing it in your eyes and sitting right there in front of you, looking at these bullet holes, and it just took me back. Even the Breonna Taylor painting, I'm just like, man, she was so beautiful, had such a bright future, and her life was taken away. And it's stuff that we see on the news, and it doesn't hit home until you actually see it for yourself. And yeah, so that's why I wanted to go over there for myself and for my kids too, to get them to see our history. And it was a lot of older folks in there that, they were saying, hey, why didn't they teach us this in school? Why didn't we know about this? The freedom riders and stuff like that. And some of those older people, we were going through that as you were younger. So, you wouldn't know about that.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of information to take in over at that museum. I took a lot of pictures, but just to refer back to, because I want to do my own research and just learn about different things. And of course, like I said, we have plenty of museums. The Black Wax Museum in Baltimore. You have the museum over in DC. You can go down to Atlanta and go visit the MLK building. That's a lot of information in that as well, and go to their house and the church. So, I mean, I haven't gone to Birmingham yet, or deep in the South, but I plan to in the future.
Yeah, Birmingham has they have like an African American tour that goes around Birmingham. There's you have the church that Dr. Martin Luther King preached at. There was one museum that I wanted to go to, but I didn't have time, and it was on the relationship of African Americans in the prison system. It's in Birmingham, and I wanted to go do, but I need to go, and I want to go back. I need to go back so I can go see it. In Nashville, they have the African American music museum that I haven't gone to yet, but I want to go to. Like I said, like I think last week or a couple weeks ago, I went to the nearest green distillery. The first master distiller that actually created the Jack Daniels whiskey. Even museums that almost every, like Dallas has an African American museum. I've been to even the Trap Museum in Atlanta. Like,
I didn't go there yet, but because every time I go there, it's always a long line.
It is a long line. It is a long line. Yeah, but they have you can pay to go to the front though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've been twice. But yeah, like after a while, they be like, hey, if you want to, move to the front, you can pay to go to the front and go inside. But it's a different museum. It's just a view of a different culture and a different aspect that what a lot of these rappers, artists, MCs talked about, of like this is what the community was. This is how they had what they was forced to do to survive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, there's plenty of museums, there's plenty of places to go. And like I said, like another place I want to go is Africa Town, which is in Alabama.
Yes.
Is where the last I don't know, it was undocumented or documented slave ship that came in after the abolishment of slavery. And it landed in Alabama, and they created this town just outside of Birmingham or Mobile.
It's somewhere down there.
Yeah, but
I want to say is it Mobile?
I think so. It's close to the coast. But yeah. So and then like I just went to here in where I'm at in Clarksville. I went to this trail. It's called Dunbar Caves. It's actually, you can do tours of the caves that are in the city, but there's a part where you get to where it talks about there's an African town or something like that was here in Clarksville when like when after the abolishment of slavery, and were
Really?
a group of African Americans were, settled in Clarksville or just outside Clarksville, something like that. And there's a whole street in Clarksville named after African American woman who was a Olympic athlete called Wilma Rudolph.
Really?
Uh-huh.
What is it called?
Wilma Rudolph. Like everything's on that street, and everybody's on that. Yeah, everybody's on that street because everything's on that street.
Oh wow.
So
There's so much history that we don't know about. And for whatever reason, it didn't get to us until now. But it is our duty to learn our history for real.
agree. I agree. You'd be surprised what you what you stumble upon when you go somewhere and you just walk around.
So with the museum, I gotta ask my family, but before the museum opened, my grandmother, she sent some stuff over there. I don't know what she sent over there to be in the museum. I don't know if it was for the AKAs or if it was for African American history specifically for her family. I don't know. But I know she did tell me that. But when I took the kids over there and we got to the MLK and his wife's area where they discussed them, I did let them know. I said, listen, my mom took me down there to the what should I say? Is it the library? Or their building down there in Atlanta when I want to say like 7 or 8. And when she took me there, like I didn't realize it then, but I met his wife. My grandmother took me to meet her. And I was just like, Coretta Scott King. So I'm just like, I didn't know who she was.
Really?
Until later. No, I didn't. So I'm just like, little things like that. And they went away for a while to discuss whatever. They had their own individual meetings. So I was telling the kids that, and they were like, really, mommy? I said, yeah, for whatever reason. I don't know what it was about. But yes, they met each other. They talked like they knew each other. I'm not sure if it was because, they protested in the period years ago, her and my grandfather, or not, but I'm pretty sure that they had different ties to people. So yeah, it was definitely eye-opening to, experience that because, we take those family reunions. I know for the Scotts, they used to go over to DC every year. And, they got away from it. They wanted to travel. But DC was really the place that held our history for whatever reason. I don't know. So I will keep saying, go and take your kids over there to see that museum because we all need that. White, black, whatever race you are, go and visit that museum.
Coretta Scott King didn't even know it.
I didn't. But how would I know it? They didn't teach us that in school, who she was at an early age.
Yeah. Keep talking about they ain't teach us in school. I just want to talk about this book so bad.
Man, you're going to make me go order and bring it in. I am going to, but.
I mean, because it talks about how, real quick, like the school system, it was adopted not to teach, but to have people to make kids who be docile and as they grow up stay docile, and to teach like nationalism. It's grooming society to be nationalism, so that way how we're all about America this, America that, or whatever country that that you're in. So you know what I mean? It's and a lot of people was involved in the adoption of the school system.
Really?
Yes, it's interesting, and I'm telling you, I'm only in chapter 2.
Chapter 2, and that's it.
Yep.
I mean, I think that I think a lot of people try to limit those type of books from being distributed to different people or to into the school system. But I feel like if you are a teacher, especially history teachers, you definitely need to like dig deep into all history, not just one portion of it. Because some of that stuff, like I can't relate to it. Like you said, over in Europe, like yeah, we learned heavy about that. But do I remember that stuff? No. So I can relate to the museum and African American history. And even when we go to college at HBCUs, I think that's a requirement now. It was for me when I started out at Dell State. Like you had to take Afro American history to know it. So yeah.
Yeah, but we'll table that for a later discussion.
Yeah. Shoot, I didn't even know Maya Angelou until my freshman year of college. I didn't even know who she was. Like the great poet.
Yeah.
And it was not being taught at our school district. What did you say? What did you always used to tease me about? Y'all got y'all good FFA organization down there. You always said that. And it's the truth.
Good old Fisher Farmers America.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be no farmer.
Anyway, you better
no, not.
No.
But
it's about it's really about what you're interested in and which what you take a liking to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If that was your thing, then you take that course. But anyway,
don't push it in me because everybody else is doing it. I think that's where we go wrong too. I was just talking to somebody about that, another parent. Like when kids say that they want to do different things outside of the norm, I think we should support them and not control what we think they should do or be.
Yeah, and the book talks about that also.
Oh, really?
Yes, it does. It talks about how stifling people's creativity and natural resistance to things that they don't agree with and trying to change things. It's a good read.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we talked about that before though, how we we have these goals for our kids and we push these goals for our kids, and in some cultures like they kind of push that certain professions on their kids. Like I know like there's a comedian named Joe Coy. He's a Filipino. And he was talking about how his mom only he had to be like a nurse or doctor or one of those like type professions.
Okay.
But he wanted to be a comedian. And she was like, why you want to be a clown?
Oh no.
Right. And now he's like now he's like he's an accomplished comedian. He goes on tours and he's done other things, and like and now his mom was like, you've done so good. But yeah, because he does his accent, how his mom talks and everything, but it's pretty funny. But yeah, it's like so certain cultures, they push, they want you to be in certain professions because for whatever reason, and that may not be what you're passionate about. You know what I mean? It's just like, man, or or you tell your kid you can be anything you want, and
then you tell them they can't be that, and that's where the confusion lies. Because you tell them to dream, but then you steal their dream from them, of, thinking that they're going to do something. They've always dreamed about doing whatever, and then you come in, fly in, and say, nope, I'm snatching it up. So you're not going to do that because it's not promising for me. So, but it never was about you in the first place. So, you know, you gotta really, when we get into parenting, and it's a lot of lessons learned. I talked about that the other day, Winning Wednesday. Like, it's no knock to previous parenting, but allow us to grow as people, and not control us so much into what you want us to do. That's how I changed. And not saying that my mom or my dad did that, but there are some things that as new parents had to correct. Like, it wasn't all bad, but for Jay, Jazz, and Nuki, I definitely wanted to adjust myself for them, because I didn't want to control, anything that they didn't want to do. Like my middle one, Jazz, she's not a school person. She has always, from 2 weeks before school started at 5, I'm not going. and we still struggle with this, I'm not going. It's weekly. It's always moving slow. I know that for sure. She is a spinning image of my brother Maurice. Like he cloned her. She's a girl version of him. Like the way she talks, everything. But sometimes school is not for different people. We are controlled to think school is very important and this is the only way to go. No, it's not. It's not the only way to go. Yes, it helps us along the way, but that's just my opinion. I can't speak for anybody else. So yeah.
Talks about that in the book too. But anyway, school is it's not for everybody, and it's I figure it almost, if it's not for you, even if it is for you, or like you enjoy it, maybe you want to be an educator, or you like learning, you might like that style of learning, but everybody doesn't like that style of learning, and it kind of sucks that you force everyone to succumb to the style of learning. And that's not how everyone's learning style is. Some people like to get out and explore, and that type of that type of environment is what they enjoy, actually going out and immersing themselves into cultures and stuff like that. Like when I went to Korea, like everybody used to be like, just don't just go to the bars and just drink while you're in Korea, because that stuff is out there. And like a lot of people, that's what they would do, is like, they get off work or on the weekends, they would just go to the bars and just like drink and have a good time. And like, they have this negative outlook on going to Korea, but like, well, yeah, you have this negative, you did the same thing every day, every weekend. For a year straight.
You
know what I mean? But like, so when I got there, I did a little bit of that, but I took an interest in the culture.
Yes.
I took trips, and I'm like by myself. I went on trips and immersed myself in the culture, and I had a blast.
Okay, so can we talk about that too, traveling by ourselves?
Oh, you
don't need a entourage to be traveling with you, because you can't travel with everyone. So like, if you like, I learned this a couple months ago. It's so peaceful when you travel by yourself. Like, you can move how you want to move. Like, if I get hungry, I don't gotta wait for nobody to say they hungry too. I can go by myself. So yes, I'm with him on that. You need to get out. And of course, us ladies, it is a little uncomfortable, but you cannot let fear control you of not, functioning in this world.
Absolutely. You just need to prepare yourself and just have that mindset, and or just have that thought in the back of your head, like, okay, if something happens, and this goes for everybody, not just particular gender, but
Yes.
you just gotta, like, all right, if the situation doesn't look right, then maybe you
Mm-hmm.
need to go somewhere else. But traveling on your own and seeing things on your own, like, if it's this is what I suggest. If it's difficult, or you don't have that confidence yet, do small things first before you
Yeah.
go. Like, go to a movie by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Go out to eat by yourself. Like, don't go pick up and then go back home. Like,
Yes.
stay at the restaurant, and maybe sit at the bar,
Mm-hmm.
because you can order food at the bar at certain establishments, and
Yeah.
then you can, like, do certain small stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
travel to a nearby city that you've never been to, or just kind of hang out a little bit by
Mhm.
yourself, and it builds your confidence, and you're able to take those trips by yourself, because people do it all the time.
Yes.
And you know what I mean? And like you said, like, traveling with other people, first of all, you put out, like, hey, who wants to go, to Vegas? And then you'll have 40 people like, yeah, I'm down to go. And then when it's time to execute and go on the trip, you got about, that 40
Right.
is down to about 5. And then it's like,
Oh man.
yeah. And and then plus, when you got a bunch of people, if y'all don't have no, like, someone else that's, like, planning it, you know what I mean? That's like, you got different opinions, you got different likes, you have different
Personalities.
you got different personalities,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And everybody may not want to do the same thing or be involved in this or whatever. So it's like, so it is what it is. But
Mhm.
traveling by yourself and going to places I mean, just, it's moving on your own time. And like you said, you don't have to worry about, everybody, want to go to the same thing, or, some people want to eat, some people don't want to eat. You know what I mean? It's just and leaving, but it's like, hey, we're gonna leave at this time. But you ain't gotta
Yeah.
worry about that, because when you're ready to leave, you just get up and leave.
Listen, I'm a stickler for that. You want to stay late? Go right ahead. But when I get ready to move, and everybody knows this about me that has traveled with me, if I say we leaving at 8, I'm gonna be ready at 7:30. And that's another thing that I want to say. Like in 2022, let's start on time, let's end on time, let's do things that we say we're gonna do, all of that good stuff. That's a goal for me. Um, you know, just follow that habit, and go from there. But man, I have learned early, if I need to travel by myself, I definitely will. And it creates a less bill for me too, because sometimes you get places and people be like, oh, I don't have no money for that. I'm just like, wait a minute, no. So yeah, it can be a little tricky at times, but um I enjoy myself, especially when it's with my core people that I can travel with, um and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have different groups of people that I can hang out with, and we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
I've experienced groups where, like, everybody sleep at 8 o'clock and I'm the only one up. Like, really? I thought we came to have I thought we came to have a good time, and all y'all sleep. Like, what's going on?
Don't judge us, Ray Ray. Do not. You know what my bedtime is, and do not call me. And 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. No, don't do it.
Yeah, but
I gotta prepare for stuff like that too. Like late nights, like I gotta prepare weeks in advance. I gotta get my sleep.
weeks in advance. Man, I was thinking, like, Most of us, we just, let me get this quick nap in, and
That's
then
not good for me.
a couple of weeks, man. Your planning period is serious.
Yeah, but when I went to the festival in Atlanta, you're talking about going all day long up until like 10 or 12 o'clock from possibly 8 o'clock in the morning. So, you're constantly walking, you're going from stage to stage to stage, and it's hot. So it can be time consuming. Or it can be your battery level is running low, is what I should say. And I know when it's running low, I better sit down somewhere.
Yeah, because I know I've been to like in Europe, they have Christmas markets, and like they run like all day, all night. Yeah, so it's like stay up till like 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Walking around these Christmas markets, and then like, all right, I'm gonna go to sleep, and then when you wake up and go outside the next day, like it's still going. Like,
Yeah.
and this goes for like a month.
Really?
Yeah. So like, I mean, it's a good time. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a good time, and I want to go back to Europe so bad so I can experience it some more.
Yeah.
It's just like in some other countries, like the clubs don't close till like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nobody's showing up until like 1.
Yeah.
So if we, that free before 10, like ain't nobody making that. Or
you're gonna be sitting there by yourself.
Yeah, because ain't nobody showing up until like 12, 1 o'clock. Because
yeah.
club doesn't close when you walking out the club, the sun's up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, let me go and get this egg McMuffin from McDonald's real quick.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but it's definitely good to travel and just see different sites, especially here in the United States. Like I haven't been on the West Coast yet to LA, but man, it's on my bucket list. Vegas is on my bucket list.
Let me tell you about Vegas. If you go to Vegas, like if you're not a gambler, like you should plan Vegas. Like I want to go like see who's resident at the time, like who you want to go see, shows, because if you just go to Vegas, like it's 90% is casinos and gambling.
Yeah.
So like you can just walk in and out of casinos, but I would suggest like looking at some stuff because I went to Vegas and like, all right, I'm gonna go to Vegas, and I just went and and I was like, okay, I get it now. Like next time I go, I'll see who's resident artists and like what shows are going on, and I'll plan my shows, and then if I'm not going to a show or anything like that, then I'll walk around and take in some sights, take in some food and stuff like that.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I've heard a lot about Vegas, but I'm definitely gonna go out there. I want to go to LA. I want to see the trees. So yeah.
Oh, okay. LA's nice.
What you said? It's nice.
Yeah, LA's nice. I don't like the traffic, but LA is nice.
So traffic compared to Atlanta traffic?
No comparison.
No?
No comparison.
To New York?
No comparison.
Wow.
I say that because like LA has like 6-lane highways. Like 12 total.
Yeah.
And it still be traffic. And it'd be random. You know how like you be in traffic and then you finally get out of the traffic and you be like, why was we in traffic? It'd be like that.
So you have to pick a spot where you can go. No, it's no picking spots.
Ain't no picking spots. It's random traffic.
Okay.
Like I'm not joking. I'm random.
All right.
That's why God was up. That's why Kobe was taking helicopters because of traffic.
Yeah.
So he wanted to leave the stadium and get to, so he's able to, pick up his daughters from school and stuff because of the traffic. It's random traffic. Like you never know where you're gonna hit it, and there's no like, well, I'm gonna take this route. Like,
yeah. Wow.
Random traffic.
I always think about them too. It was definitely a shock. I'll never forget that coming back from ENT for a visit and you know, getting that news and thinking, I know it has to be uh not true and to turn out to be true. Uh,
Mm.
it was definitely a different blow for the basketball community. And even though, we were big Sixers fans, he was definitely the GOAT of the Lakers of
Yeah.
the NBA. So yeah, definitely.
Mm. But yeah, so traveling on your own is good. I suggest it, and as you get more confident, the more you'll, you know, your travel limitations will grow.
hmm I said that was my third time flying in my life down to Atlanta by myself, and um, my dad was upset, and it's just like I'm 37 years old. Like I had to do this at some point in life. Like I gotta I gotta broaden my horizons. Like so, yeah. I'm gonna need you to chill, take a chill pill. Um, and I'm gonna go on this trip, but I'm gonna enjoy myself. So yeah, definitely get out of your comfort zone. I will say that, and it's so peaceful. Like I'm in a different headspace right now from 2021. Just everything that's been going on, um, totally changed my outlook on life. So
Yeah, I seen it. I've been seeing it. I've been seeing these posts you've been posting, and I'm like, okay.
changes are here. I mean, I have to.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still upset about that picture. You came and you showed out, had your little outfit on. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah. He
Okay.
was like, oh, you got your Mary J. Blige boots on.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You was like, okay, this is what we're doing. All right. I remember this our next photo shoot that we do.
yeah.
I will be prepared.
hmm I told you the time is now. Like, we need to stop playing around. It's time to get to this bag, or bags is what I should say. A lot of people are making money, and I want to make money too. I got this college tuition to pay for, and they want your money.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And and we was talking about it. I was like, the job force is changing. If you're not paying attention or you don't understand, do you think that you just be able to go out and get a job and like you used to? It's changing. And if
Yeah.
you don't have other avenues of where you're able to make income, uh just these next 10 to 15 years it's gonna come up, and you're gonna open your eyes and be like,
hmm
hey, this is definitely different.
Yeah. I think times are changing. Like I said, I got an email yesterday in regards to taking headshots and for a business setting, and sending that along with job proposals. So it's definitely changing because way back when they would not see your face until you started working on the job, possibly if you were on site. For us anyway, for some of us in our job fields, we don't go to the site, so we generally don't see these people. You wouldn't know what each other look like unless you were on Zoom now. So with that being said, times are changing, and for us introverts, it can be very trivial for us. Like, why do they need our picture? Like,
Right.
they're steal our information, and they're gonna steal our face and put it on somebody else. I hear it a lot. So it's some people in the job field that I am. What? No,
Like you ain't got a whole license and ID and Facebook page.
But some people are thinking that. And yes, it does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm saying for the most part, like, I think people should understand we're changing. We're constantly changing. And if you want to advance in your career, you're going to have to go outside of your comfort zone. And all of this year we've been talking about these COVID shots and stuff like that. But back to the picture situation, headshot. A lot of people in my job field did not want to attach their picture to their profile to run through Teams. So, when we update our profile now, that's what they started out as this year. Hey, get a headshot and put it on your profile. And a lot of people were not comfortable doing that. And I get it. But I get the other side to it too, where if you want job advancement, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. Like, as introverts, like, that's where I am at this point. I would never have put up a full body picture previously from years ago. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but I just wouldn't do it. But now I'm just like, y'all see me all the time. I'm podcasting, so you're going to probably see my face every day. So I'm in a trial period of printing out stats, every morning, because I feel like it can help some people. We're all going through life as is. And I think it can help people, communicate better. It will help people get out of their comfort zone, because I am a hermit. I don't need people to be in my face. So for me, this is a new career step for me to get out of my comfort zone and to actually, talk or speak up for myself. Because when you get so frustrated with things not working out for you, you're going to snap. And for me, I am in a snap period, meaning, okay, these things that have happened before are not going to happen anymore with me. And I'm not afraid to say that or demand it. Like, yes, this is how it's going to go for me. And if you want me to do this, you're going to have to do this for me. So that's where I am.
Right on. I can dig it.
Mm-hmm.
I can dig it.
But you are an introvert as well, but you've been in supervisor and manager positions, head positions.
Yeah, I have multiple times. I don't know. I am an introvert, but I've been able to adapt and immerse myself in the positions, because I've done it early in my career where I was I was put in positions where I was in charge of like sections early before I became seasoned and senior. But I enjoyed it. It was fun for me. It was new because I do know I enjoy doing new things. It was new. It was, and because every position that I did, it was different, because it's not, even though I didn't change jobs or but our career field is never the same from I don't want to say position, but yeah, organization. Like every time, because we change, we move every 3 years or so, or whatever, and so like we'll move into different positions or different organizations. So every organization is not the same.
Yes.
The basics of the the requirements are the same, but how we process and each organization's processes are not the same. So it was new, it was different, especially when I was a drill sergeant. But yeah, I don't know. I'm able to immerse myself in that position, but once I leave, like I shut all the way down.
You leave what?
Once I leave work, and I'm on my time, like most of the times I'll completely shut down, and I'll kind of recharge.
Okay.
And if I have my friends, and like my circles are small, so if I hang out with my friends, like I can recharge when I'm hanging with them. You know what I mean? But as the older I get, the more time it takes for me to recharge, because the responsibilities increase as I progress, and so my recharge time takes longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's I don't know. It's just interesting how, as introverted as I am, I'm able to
Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need that in the workplace. You definitely need that in the workplace if you want to advance. I know it took me a long time for me to be comfortable sitting at the boardroom table and speaking up or saying what needs to be said. Allowing my voice to be heard. It took me years, but now I'm in a place of, okay, if I have to say something, I'm definitely gonna say it. Now you can take it how you want to take it, but your delivery has to be on point as well. It can't be emotional, men and women. So I feel like, that has taught me as well, looking at other people advance in their careers, of how they manage, um, still going to the top, continuously going to the top. And for me, I always want to advance. It frustrates me when, I'm not continuously learning. So, and some people possibly haven't understood that at times, but you get to the point where, okay, I want to try something new. I don't want to do the same job for 40 years, you know. And I think we definitely, millennials need to get to that point. You can't be uh, a one-trick pony, if that makes sense. You definitely have to learn how to multitask. You definitely need to be open to learning, like you said, going into different departments and learning their process. And you can't be resistant on it. I'm in a business where I work with engineers, and they build refineries. So it's a lot of different processes that goes into building refineries, oil refineries, different departments. So I definitely have had to get out of my comfort zone when not just doing my process, but learning what they do as well.
Right. Being a jack of all trades. Which I've come to learn recently is that is not all that's not the entirety of the quote.
Yeah.
It's like a jack of all trades, master of none. How the rest of it go? I can't remember. But anyway, but it's more to it. And it's like, yeah, you gotta be a jack of all trades, like learning this and that. It makes you more adaptable, it makes you more versatile, and it allows you room to learn and grow. You know what I mean? So it's yeah.
I think you have to be willing to grow as a person. Definitely. All
Life
the
is
time. You can't be fearful of growing and taking a leap. One of my coworkers, he just left our company on Wednesday, and he had been there for 20 years. And he told me Wednesday before he left, he said, India, it was time for me to take my leap. And I said, it was definitely time, do something new. And I think, for some people, when you do something new, you kind of get scared. And my mom, she always taught us, you shouldn't be scared. Just go ahead and do it. Take the leap and have confidence that it will work out. And, it's true. It really is true.
Yeah, it absolutely is. All it is just a it's a fear of the unknown. I don't know how this is gonna work out. I'm not versed in this. I don't, I don't know too much about it.
Yeah.
That's just like because I was watching this other podcast. I think it's Hair of Children or something like that. I'm sorry, but they did an episode talking about investing. They was talking about how the fear of investing, and I think we've talked about that. Like,
Yes.
what I mean, we don't understand, so it's like, well, I don't understand it. I don't know anything about it, so
Mhm.
I'm not gonna get into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but investing is it's a game that's set up for, if you learn, it's set up for you to win.
Yeah.
You gotta but you have to take that step, that leap of, all right, I don't understand it. Let me learn about it, regardless of how old you are.
Yes.
Life is about continuous, it should be continuous learning and growth.
Hmm.
You should continue to progress throughout life. You know what I mean? So it's like once you stop doing that, you kind of stop living.
Yeah. You really do. With investing, this is my first year. I was just thinking about the other day. It's my first year of contributing to my 401k all year. I would always stop at a period in a year, meaning, okay, the stock market is not going well. I'm not putting any more money into it. But this year has been a full year of I'm gonna put this money away. I just looked at my paycheck the other day and I was like, wow, it's been a different year of sending that money over here, letting it sit and not worrying about it. But I think you have to invest in the time now so that you can have your future later. We have to invest in ourselves now to have a good life later.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared the video earlier, talking about betting on yourself. And it's true. Like, who's gonna bet on you more than yourself? You know your full potential. Now, will you
Absolutely.
want to tap into it at different times because you're scared? Or are you just gonna go ahead and say, look, I know who I am. Let me step into my greatness and let me do what I need to do. And it's okay to do that.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely is. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Gonna learn today.
Yes. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. I figure we've crested an hour. I think.
Yes. Y'all, it's been fun. I can't see the comments right now. I try to stay focused on what we're discussing, but on Facebook, the comments.
I don't see any comments. Ain't anybody watching.
Oh, ain't no,
It's too early. They at work, or they
yeah,
should be
yeah,
at work.
yeah. But they'll watch it later. And we're
Oh,
getting a lot of that, meaning that people are watching it later. So it's always good.
absolutely. But man, never good episode, never great conversation. I think so anyway. Though.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get my wardrobe up for our next photo shoot. Just letting you know that now. I appreciate how you did me.
Listen, got to step out. Yeah. But all righty, we'll see y'all next time.
Right on. Have a good day. Take it easy and tell someone. Tell somebody about the podcast.
Yes, share.
You know what I mean? Give us some feedback. Hit us in the comments. You know what I mean? Let us know how you feel. Like I said, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, you can find us on Google Podcasts, you can find us on Spotify. We're on Buzzsprout. We got a Facebook page, we got an Instagram page. Please let us talk to us. Shoot some comments. Shoot some, some feedback. It's always good. It's always neat.
Yeah.
Let us know how we're doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's anytime anybody asks me what I got going on, I started a podcast. Really? It's like a business. People are listening to podcasts and they're they're getting interested. And when I tell them, they're like, "Oh, really? What is it?" And then I'm like, "Oh, here it is. We're on Apple. You got Apple? You got Android? You on Spotify? Here you go. I'll find it for you."
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
subscribe to it, follow, like all of that good stuff. And if you're on Spotify, you will get the notification as soon as the episode comes out and it is released. So same thing with YouTube. So yeah, definitely let us know what you think. And we will talk to y'all soon.
right on.
All right.
Thanks for coming out. Good night.
Yeah.